when I grew up and worked a lot with kids, I realized, like they always say, I don't felt belonging in the outdoors because I try to bring them to the outdoors, but they're like, "What are you doing? It's nothing for us." So there was the first time I realized, like there was this so-called nature gap between marginalized communities and the majority of the country, like who are divided in this yes, in this access to the outdoors. And this is what I wanted to close. I want to close that gap.
In this episode, I chat with Anthony Owosekun, the founder of EMPOCA, Europe's first organisation with the mission to develop and implement a long-term strategy promoting environmental education and nature experiences for Black children and youth. One of the motivations for Anthony in founding EMPOCA was that as a child, he didn't always feel welcome and safe in the outdoors. This feeling was reinforced in a recent study conducted in Germany on behalf of opening up the outdoors, highlighting that 65% of people of colour have faced discrimination or prejudice when spending time in nature. Don't miss this inspirational episode to find out more about this important topic, including learning about the opportunity for outdoor brands and retailers to engage with an untapped, growing and engaged audience.
So, Anthony, in 2018, you founded EMPOCA with the mission to develop and implement a long-term strategy to promote environmental education and nature experiences to Black children and youth across Europe. But in let's say more practical terms, what does that actually really mean?
What it really means is like we organize week camps. It means 7 days in nature for kids from urban areas who haven't been in the forest before, majority, and they are learning a lot of things about environmental education, climate action, and also mental health. And it's always a mixture of joy and group challenges, and also, yeah, just feeling yourself, like also growing through your own personal development. So it's a really transformative experience.
And I'm interested to know what was the spark that drove you to invest obviously a lot of your time over the last 7 years in this in this great cause. What was the initial spark, the initial motivation?
I have to go back to my childhood because there was where I it's all started because I was a Boy Scout in the northern part of Germany. So I was used in younger age to just go to the outdoors and also explore the beauty and also the opportunity to grow and to gain confidence and also to find freedom and peace. And for me, I wasn't aware of like I was the only one who looked like me because I was just a child. But when I grew up and worked a lot with kids, I realized, like they always say, I don't felt belonging in the outdoors because I try to bring them to the outdoors, but they're like, "What are you doing? It's nothing for us." So there was the first time I realized, like there was this so-called nature gap between marginalized communities and the community or the majority of the country, like who are divided in this yes, in this access to the outdoors. And this is what I wanted to close. I want to close that gap.
That's really interesting that as a child it wasn't something that you noticed, that you were sensitive to, but
No.
if I understood well, it was for your children. Is that or for so why is that, do you think? What's it's That's really interesting for me to understand.
Of course, I also when I became a father, I realized like this is something I would like to also have for not only my children, but it's something I wished I also had as a child. Of course, I had this Boy Scout experience, but it was also not a long time because I don't felt so much belonging in this group. So I just did it like for 1.5, 2 years. So for me, it was always interesting to find solutions, how you can just change the status quo and, yeah, actually the system of who is considered to lead environmental movements, who is considered to, yeah, not only be a leader, but also who is also considered to participate in the outdoors and, yeah, not only to rest, but also to, yeah, to learn to protect the
Yeah.
outdoors or the mother nature, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So since 2010, all of the roles you've had have been connected to either the education, the supporting, or the help of children and young people. So I'm interested, was that a conscious decision? And if yes, why? What led you on that journey?
I was very, very excited when I was a child, going to the nature camps, and also my first experience having a leadership role was also being like a, yeah, group leader in a camp. So this was my first hand experience. I realized like how much impact you can have giving young people the opportunity to grow, to also to lead, and also to, yeah, to push the margins because they're high risky personalities, and really love this mixture of high risk and also like being very um yeah, very interested in creating something with your hands, and also the combination with advocating for justice, because children are very, very clear minds, and also like to have a very justice system they are living in. So this is something I really admire. And then I realized like it's important to create an organization where all of this can come together. And this was actually not the beginning of EMPOCA, but this is something I really enjoyed from my early childhood, like seeing the impact and seeing transformation, seeing the future through the actions of the younger ones.
Mm. No, I can imagine. It's I think on my side, being a father also, and at least my eyes were turned to this more when I became a father, for sure. But it obviously for you, it was even before you were a father. This was something that was very conscious for you, which is yeah, very very commendable. Um, but I guess, over the last 7 years since you founded in poker, you when I look at your LinkedIn profile, you've had several different roles. Because I'm assuming that, at the time, you've had to obviously kind of run and build in poker on yourself, but at the same time, of course, you needed to finance and support yourself and your family, as we've kind of touched on already. So that must have been really hard. Um, there must have been times when, yeah, you must have, or maybe not, I don't know, but I would imagine many people would have been close to quitting and giving up and focusing, you know, just on yourself and your family. What kept you going? What's kind of kept you going over those last 7 years?
And still keeping me going.
Hopefully.
And is um, the the impact all not only I build, we build within poker, because it's not just about me. It's like the impact starting with the parents trusting us. As you said, as a father, just maybe you can imagine people who are not feeling comfortable in the outdoors, because there's also this issue about safety in the outdoors for people of color. So it is like, first of all, the trust we get from this from these parents, and then of course the transformation story. Like some children just go back home and then start to and bring their family to the outdoors on a regular basis, like on the weekends, or also a story about a young participant who turned now to be a teamer, or like, like just organizing also the camps with us, and also, leading from just at the beginning, just participating to lead. So it is actually this or these kind of stories once in a while are giving me the motivation. But of course, there are a lot of challenges on the way, and there will still be a lot of challenges. But I believe in the power of collaboration, and also the power of um, yes, the power of a systemic approach. And this is actually what I'm looking for now, like to find a way to do this with people, organizations, companies who believe in the mission. Like, everyone belongs to the outdoors, and if you feel this belonging, you can really have an impact on the environmental protection we really need in this century. It is, I think, the important century of humankind. We really have to motivate nearly everyone on this planet to to save this planet, because this is what we need. It's our house. It's what we need to live, to breathe, to enjoy. So
Yeah.
this is actually the bigger vision about this. So what we are just doing is like, just just starting this um, vision, but like it is combined with so many other systems, and we believe like to be um, a co-creation, or we are co-creating the river. The river is the change, right? We need all to save our planet. So this is actually something you cannot build on your own. You need so many people to support. So this is the shift actually I experienced in the last years. Like, it is something bigger than only going to the outdoors.
And you mentioned there that you've seen a shift over the last few years. So other than let's say the fact that the issue is maybe people are more conscious of it or more aware of it,
Mhm.
even if right now, of course, there are political voices that are saying something completely opposite.
Yeah.
But generally, I think people are more aware of it. But so, other than that, what have you seen different? Do you see more people, more businesses willing to kind of engage in this topic, or is it still for you quite a battle, a challenge to get engagement on this topic?
Yes, it's quite a challenge and a battle from the perspective of grassroots initiatives, BIPOC initiatives who are supported. I can just mention, of course, the outdoor program, Open Up the Outdoors, who are supported by different brands. I don't know the numbers yet, but I think it's like 8 brands who are supporting the outdoor program, and it's the beginning. It's the beginning, and this is something you can see. Like, okay, there are some people who realize like there is something happening. Like, there are a lot of people out there who are not part story of the story we are telling for the last decades, and we are also experiencing as a industry, not only the outdoor industry, also the sports industry. We are experiencing a kind of degrowth, right? And we are also experiencing like our challenges, and everything is actually related to um, the environmental issues we have, and also about the exclusion of so many people of the global majority actually from this movement. So I think, like, if you want to really change something as an industry, then you have to touch the life of the people.
Yeah.
Like it's not about like just selling a product. It's like touch the lives, and give them the opportunity to co-create and give them the opportunity to be part of it, and not like for asking for access. Like give them the opportunity to just belong, because this is something people really, really cherish, and also will give back on the long run. It is the best investment you can make as an industry. And I think the industry, and it's not like a general thing because I don't know everyone in the industry, of course not, but I think like we have some brands, as I mentioned, who support like initiatives, and some initiatives are like asking themselves like, okay, what is the perspective? Is the perspective like scratching the surface and say like, look, these are the initiatives, or is the perspective like giving more communities not only access but also like the opportunity to co-create not only the products but co-create the way we perceive the outdoors, and also because we have this vision about like um, the outdoors is completely separate from humans, like, and it is not true because we are all in one. We are connected, and there are so many different kind of approaches to the outdoors, and we cannot see it in narratives. We cannot also see it in the people who are in the industry, like who is hired in the industry. Are they hired due to maybe you know it hired because they have this experience they have to bring, because they have this experience they gain in their career, or they bring also lived experience, who are not only equal, who are really valuable also for the company. And I think like this shift should be not only hiring people, or also like thinking about your culture, the culture of your company. Like, are we only hiring people, or are we trying to be a culture, or a company with a culture like people feel belonging? Because belonging is something, I know it's a buzzword, but if people feel belonging, it's more than their job. It's like they're purpose driven,
Yeah.
and this is the connection to social enterprises like ours,
Yeah.
like EMPOCA, because our volunteers, they are not paid. They just show up because they are so motivated, because the purpose really resonates with them. So this might be something the auto industry can look at, and also, of course, share not only the resources, and also but also give the grassroots organizations opportunity to um, be a equal partner for a long term.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. No, that makes complete sense. But I want to go back to something you said earlier on. You said about, because I think it's really important for people to understand, what are the barriers, or the perceived barriers. You talked earlier on about that parents of children of color, you know, feel maybe that it's dangerous or not safe for their children to be in the outdoors. So where does that where does that come from? Why is there that feeling? I think it's really important for us to understand that properly.
This is a very complex question, because you can answer this question historically, and you can also answer it through the developments we have experienced in the last years, or in the last decades. And historically, there are only some scientific, let's say, scientific. Sorry, I have to start again.
Data or
Yes,
yeah,
yes. There are only some scientific data from the United States, for example, but not in Europe, and especially not in Germany. But there are some developments. Auto just recently, in October this year, 2025, just recently published the survey, and they just find out like people are really not like only um, lack of access to the outdoors. There's also a safety issue, and the safety issue is related to how do you feel when you go to the outdoors and you don't see people like you, and what are your experiences, or what are also the experiences you have heard from other people of color or from other communities. And there are some articles in newspapers or some broadcasts about people in the outdoors who are attacked or being um, being approached in a very unrespectful way, and cannot enjoy the peace or cannot enjoy just being in the outdoors. And also this gaze, this white, so-called white gaze, like people are just like staring at them all the time and just want to feel free, but people don't feel like it is something they have to stop because they're just interested in new kind of people. So this is something from the perspective of people of color. It's not, it's distracting. It's not really helpful to go to the outdoors if you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So these narratives are within communities of people of color, and actually now more visible through this grassroots initiatives, not only EMPOCA, but of course others who are been coming up for the past 2 or 3 years in Europe. So I guess it is something we will also experience here, like in the US. Like it is going to be more an topic, but also an issue, because people will see, okay, why are you creating such kind of um, so-called safer spaces, and why can you just don't go to the outdoors because it's free for everyone and it's not dangerous because you're not going to be attacked? But it's not true. There are people out there who are afraid to be in the outdoors, similar to women in the outdoors, or people who are and trans people, or people who are disabled, who are attacked in public spaces. This is the reality of our society. So
Yeah.
this is the reason why people really think twice of going to the outdoors on their own. So it's much more better to join a group or join a community.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you for sharing. I think that it really helps. So I guess I should also wish you congratulations because recently you've been granted, now let me pronounce this correctly, Ashoka, is that correct?
Yes.
Ashoka Fellowship. So this fellowship will enable you to better support MPOCA in terms of scaling what you're doing, those grassroots activities. So what does this actually mean for MPOCA in terms of the work and how you can bring your activities to more people?
It's a biggest biggest change we have experienced in the last years, because we are now in a transition from a voluntary based organization to to an organization like hiring people we can want to pay in the future, because as I mentioned before, many of the people joining our mission, and there are so many of them in whole Germany, but also in other German speaking countries in DACH region, Austria and Switzerland. They are really showing up, offering their skills, offering their time for free. And of course, at the beginning, it's great to have people who are so engaged. But then at the end, if you want to scale, and we have to scale because we have a lot of young people on our waiting list, we can bring to the outdoors, about 10,000 in the DACH region.
Wow.
And also we also have, on the other hand, we have the so-called leaders or the younger leaders who would like to do more of this trainings, leadership trainings, gaining more skills, and also having more perspective in the outdoor industry, maybe, but also like in environmental protection. But like we have to actually bring more programs on the street. So that's why we are really or we are relying on support like from Ashoka. And Ashoka is actually very important, was a very important organization worldwide, because they have this claim: everyone is a change maker, and everyone is a change maker is actually something. When you transfer it to EMPOCA, it means like the children and also the young leaders are change makers. They can actually change the families, they can change the communities through the experiences they're having in our programs, and giving more people access to nature, and also give them more guidance in nature and more inspiration to actually engage with nature than we can do on our own as a NGO. So this is something very helpful as a ecosystem of Ashoka to get mentors, to get access to networks, and also like to exchange experiences, because as I said, it's a global network, and there are similar, not the same approach, but similar change makers also in other countries who are looking for more, let's say, skill or knowledge sharing moments to activate the young generation. Because if you are young and growing up in this world right now and connected to social media, you don't have any motivation,
Yeah.
to be honest. Because what is going on? What is going on? Because you are not heard, you are not seen, you don't even count as a person because no one is asking you about your opinion. And I really believe, like, if you invest, and also if you really um, give people from early age a chance to feel all this, to feel seen, to engage with nature, to see how they can also lead, um, this is going to be the best experience they can have, and also for our society, for our global society, is going to be the best investment in a healthy future.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. So obviously, this investment, is super exciting for you, but it's also a big change for you. So
Yes,
going from leading a group, a team of volunteers, to now taking on a leadership role of paid employees. How are you? How are you looking forward to that change? And yeah, how are you going to approach that change in terms of, or will you approach it any differently?
definitely. I will because at the beginning I just wanted to do everything on my own. In the first years of the organizations, I was just very protective, also like controlling a lot, um, and not sharing the duties. Just as I said, just doing it on my own. And now it's more, yeah, it's more about letting things go, but also like giving people the environment. It's more about not only giving, it's also about building this environment for yeah, leaders in the organization, because there's I don't believe in one leader. I believe in many leaders in organizations, and of course, you need a decision making structure. This is a challenge, of course, but there are people who are gonna support it with that, and there's also um, this challenge about to find a way to give people not only the environment to lead, but also to give them the environment to grow. Because personal growth is extremely important. It's also what I myself experienced in the last years, like how I grow slowly, of course, and also with the backlashes. Because if you fall, then you stand up again, and then you feel like, okay, I just experienced something I would never experience if I don't fall. So this is something I really believe like an environment of growth and yeah, leadership, shared leadership, of course. And yes, this is for me personally a change because I have to figure out how to do this. My role is going to change because I'm now thinking more about the strategy of building um, and transforming MPOCA
Yeah.
in this kind of organization where shared leadership and also personal growth is possible. So this is something I'm really looking for and very excited about it.
Yeah.
And also, taking more, taking care of myself more than in the past because I wasn't good at that.
Well, that's a good transition because that goes nicely to my next question, which you talked about actually a few months ago at the Blue Earth Summit in London. You talked about the fact that you're somehow living a paradox in terms of not kind of practicing what you preach.
Mm.
And I definitely very guilty of this in my current role and in corporate roles before. So I'm personally really interested to know, have you been able to break that paradox? And if yes, please share how. Or how, yeah, how are you, what's your plan to address this maybe?
Yes, it's more a plan. It's more a plan because yeah, many things I've done in the past is very much related to the way I grew up, like always performing. So if you grow up in this performative world, then taking care of yourself is quite the last thing on your to-do list. So this is something I've been learning quite hard in the last years. Like if you don't prioritize yourself, if you don't prioritize your health, if you don't prioritize also um, your um, your worth, and this is actually a very hard word like your worth because people always thinking about values of stuff, but your own worth is very important, and if and not related to your job or related to any goods or something. It's and you can feel it, and if you just feel it on a in a time where you have some or very close to burnout or actually also experience burnout, then you really feel like okay, something has to change radically. So the plan is to to take more um to take more time for this all this I mentioned in the future, like or really um put it in not on your to-do list but also log in your calendar like radically, like you need time for personal growth, you need time for rest, you need time also, especially we people telling people to go to the outdoors but sitting like many days or weeks in a row. It happens to me in between the camps, like just um having not so much daylight because I was just working all day preparing, having calls and all this stuff. We all know this kind of feeling, like just having one call after the other, and then at the end of the day you're like, okay, I haven't been outside today. And this is a little change, but a big impact, I think, like just trying to go at least 30 minutes a day for a walk or for a run or for whatever you want. But it's what I am looking for, and I've started it now some month ago, and then also somehow lose with the momentum. But it's okay because you can just start it again and again and again, because I think that the commitment is what is much more important. Like the commitment to to treat yourself better than you're treating yeah, you are treating actually, to be honest, also your company, because people are very, very into this, yeah, sacrificing themselves for the vision, the mission, the company. And I've been going all through this, but to be honest, at the end of the day, you don't feel the energy. You lose the connection because you're just in this performative role all the time. So
Yeah.
it takes courage to step back a little, to just look at what is going on and realize, okay, this can also happen without you. And how can you build this organization like can also actually, and hopefully, I think, because this is actually everything people are about. If they build a company, like this company can overlast you. So this might be yeah, a picture of motivation, like, okay, this company is there and I am here and I can support in my lifetime and with all my skills and um, experiences. But at the end of the day, I have to take care of myself. And if you don't do that, then on the long run, your company or your goal will not be satisfying.
Yeah. Or worse, your health
Yes.
will be impacted and your
And
family
your
and
family and
yeah,
everything. Yes.
yeah,
It's not just about you. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but it's a funny topic because it should be so easy. You know, when you say it, it's, well, of course I need to dedicate time to myself, whether it's spending 30 minutes outside or every day walking. But and yet a lot of us, obviously you and I at least, find it so difficult. It's yeah, it's a real paradox. We'll have to hold each other accountable. I'll send you a message. Have you been for your your 30-minute
Hopefully,
walk?
hopefully, yeah, yeah, yeah. We can just start it from next week on, and especially the young generation. They're looking at us and they're like, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah,
Because you are telling us a fairy tale about how to go to the outdoors and protect the environment, and what you're doing is like you're destroying mother nature. You are not taking care of yourselves. You're also all addicted to your smartphones, but now you want to tell us how to live and how we should or how we should just clean up this mess. It is not fair. So this is something I really learned also from the young generation. Like, okay, if you really, really want to do something, then start start it first.
yeah,
If you want to change your own approach.
yeah, absolutely. Okay,
Yeah,
so
hard topic.
yeah, very hard topic, very hard topic, and maybe it's going to connect to the next question. But what, looking back over the your professional career so far, what would you identify as your biggest failure, and what did you learn from it? What were you able to take away from that?
Yeah, my biggest failures was at the beginning not to trust, not to trust people, and give them, yeah, actually the space to make mistakes, because we all are in this situation where you have lack of resources, and you actually have this feeling like, okay, you only have one shot, like you don't have any other possibility like now. So this was the feeling I had for in the first 3 or 4 years. And my feeling was like, okay, I cannot mess it up, so I have to do it on my own, or I have to just take the lead. But to be honest, it's it's not like the success. What is shaping actually your growth is at least also the failure. And if you don't fail, there's no development. So this is something I realized, and this was yeah,
Yeah,
my
why?
personal problem.
Yeah, you mentioned earlier on about falling over. You know, the analogy of, until you fall over, you don't learn. You know,
Yes,
it's
yes.
and yeah, that's something I think very powerful. ironically as well, I tell my son that, it's like whether he's skiing or playing football or whatever it is, try, you have to like push yourself, and falling over is okay.
Yes.
It's that's where we learn, that's where we develop. But
Yeah.
it's again, it's easy to say and not so easy to do sometimes.
Yes, and it's hard to learn. And actually, learned it the hard way. um, and yes, but I would not say like I would like to change it because I believe in like this experience also shaped the way or the approach I having now towards the company. So it's okay, like it happened like that. But if you just look back a bit, you're like, okay, I would like to trust in the beginning more people because then I maybe had more time for myself and maybe also have to be honest also more fun because it's not fun to look for funding or to yeah to look for support or to organize um organize meetups with people who are actually not really um they're not really engaged at the beginning, so you really have to bring up this energy, you have to bring up all this energy, this positive energy, and at the end you're exhausted, but the people just see you in this energy mode, right,
Yeah.
and not in this mode of exhaustion. So this is something I really believe like it's more important to show up more real like you are, because then people then also understand what it's all about. It's not only about the shiny and the positive things. It's also about like to fail and also not to feel well one day or in 2 days, and then maybe you go outside and then you feel better. But it is okay to not always be happy or to to feel depressed. It is the way life is, and I think we need more people, not only in the in the working place, to just show up as a real person and not in a role.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. So let's make it a little bit more positive.
Of course.
What are you most proud of so far?
I'm proud of the situation we are right now, because when I say we, I mean the volunteers who build up EPOCA with me, and the situation we are right now, like we can really focus on scaling the organization and also co-creating programs, new programs. It's what I'm really proud of because, as I mentioned before, for me it was like at the beginning, like doing everything on my own, creating the programs because of my educational background. But it's much more interesting to co-create and also more impactful, and multi-perspectivity is something really great. So it's the situation, the current situation right now, like having enough support and this multi-perspectivity in the organization makes me proud.
So, what opportunities do you see for brands and retailers in the outdoor space to engage more? What are the opportunities for those businesses to engage more with social causes like EMPOCA, for example, or opening up the outdoors?
Yes, definitely to invest in grassroots organizations and also to support them in the long run and see this as a case to future proof their own company. Because if you're not future ready, then your your I don't know, your business is actually over. So this is something you can really see as an opportunity to have collaborations with grassroots initiatives to to be future ready, because as I said, the young ones, and not only the young ones but also of course the elders with the knowledge and all the stuff, they are resources. These resources are actually out there, and people love to be invited to be part of the journey, and then they share also their resources, The companies or the auto industry also, of course, they have resources in terms of um, yeah their gears or their marketing and all this stuff. But I think like it's more than just giving people gears and just ads. It's actually giving them the access to everything you have. And it means also, of course, the financial support, but beyond that, also support with skills to grow. So this is something that's, I think it's a crucial part, of course, for brands, but it is something you should consider if you want to future proof your company.
And why do you think, if I play devil's advocate here,
Yeah.
um, why do you think aligning or supporting a social cause is going to future proof the business, or help them future proof the business?
Because of the systemic approach of social entrepreneurs or enterprises, because they always want to tackle something systemic, something which is which is actually causing structural problems, individual problems, economic problems, environmental problems. They are problem solver, to be honest, and businesses are not always solving problems. They are, of course, living on the idea of a market is out there, but this market is actually changing. And if you want to have a yeah, if you want to have a taste of how it's changing, just engage with the market, and especially with the ones who are not part of this for the past decades.
Yeah. So what's the most valuable piece of advice you've ever received?
Yes, it's very easy. Just start, just start, and yeah, actually also be real, because it is very difficult in these days not to change with the wind, right? The wind comes from different directions, and you can just change all the time. And it's okay to change, of course, but it's like to to stay to your values, because people, if in terms of being accountable, people feel if you are just playing games or if you really mean what you're doing. And there are, of course, so many companies or so many individuals out there who are telling the audience a lot about the values. But if you don't act the way, then it is something people will feel, and they will actually lose the commitment to you or your company or to your product. So I'm not saying this because it is something rocket science or something, but it is the way actually also the young generation is thinking, because they are looking for value based engagement in the market. And this is something I also guess the different industries are aware of right now. Like, it is not just about your product; it's about a community you're building, and people who really believe also in the mission and see like what you're changing. And you can see it in this in the music world, like so many superstars who are engaging for the environment. The people really love them because they are doing something, they're giving back, and not just taking and taking and taking.
Yeah.
They're giving back. So this is very powerful.
Yeah, absolutely. Is to also keep going,
Yeah.
because I think it's, we talked about earlier on the commitment, and what you've had to do to be able to keep going with it, poker, and only now 7 years in you're getting some meaningful investment, let's say, to be able to move to an employed team. So it would have been very easy, and it's very easy for people to stop and to give up. And I think that consistency, as well, is very valuable. that kind of compound benefit of that consistency, keeping the same message, keep doing the same thing. It takes time to build, but when you get momentum, it really pays off. So yeah. Is there, looking back over your career, is there a particular person, a mentor, a coach, influence, somebody that has played a particular big had a particular big influence on you?
Regarding EMPOCA or
Generally,
generally,
generally, yeah.
of course, there are so many people who influenced me.
Anybody
Uh,
that stands out?
and yeah, I cannot pick one person, but I would say um, just on a professional level, it is a female mentor. She's actually also a CEO of a company, and she believes in me, like from the beginning, and supported me, and always, um, yeah, supported me also when I called her like very late or all of a sudden. But she was really committed to support, also on a voluntary basis, and I was just amazed about the way she gives me this opportunity to grow, and she was not correcting me all the time, but she just, she was just lifting me up. And I had the feeling without her I would not be here today, because just on this professional level with Empoka, this person was or not was is also is still someone I really admire for the leadership in this mentoring process, and also um, yeah the passion she's using is like outstanding. I've never seen this, because every time when we're talking, I'm always energized,
Mm.
and yeah, I really respect and admire her way to mentor me, and it is always not or it's not on a regular basis. It's just when I need a talk, I can just reach out to her, and yeah, I really admire and cherish also what she's doing. Yeah, my the person who shaped my professional journey with Empoka is she. She is yeah, female CEO of Linden. Linden is an organization who is yeah, actually supporting children who are having issues with the educational systems, with psychological and further helps of professionals. And yes, and she was and is still the person who is giving me the best mentoring experience I've ever had. Besides, of course, I also have other mentors. I can name a lot, but she's the one.
Great, great. So what advice would you give the children that today and poker are supporting, those future leaders in the outdoor industry? Maybe what advice would you give them for yeah, for the rest of their life?
To listen, to listen to people. It's quite easy to say and to hear, but it's something we have to try to yeah, practice on a daily basis, to just listen for a while before responding or before reacting. And this is where you can read between the lines, and where you can find yeah, maybe the missing puzzle. So this is something I really recommend, to listen, and also still practicing myself. Um, And I mentioned before, like to always sometimes just to be bold, just take a step back because we are always accelerating in this world, like always faster, higher, and everything. But it's brave and bold to just take a step back, to have the bigger picture, maybe, or to have time to breathe and more oxygen in your body. And if you have more oxygen in your body, maybe you just make another decision than before. So this is the second one. And the third one is, yeah, or also align with what I said before, like to lead within your values, because yes, to know your values to me, and of course they can change, but it's really good to know your values because it's also helpful making decisions. It's helpful in the interaction. It's helpful for everything, for your products, for your company. Yeah.
Today was the last day of your career. You were retiring early, let's say. What would your message be to the EMPOCA team or to the industry as a whole?
Yeah. To trust young people, or to trust people in general, but especially the younger ones, because they are the key to the future.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Great. What a great way to finish. Absolutely right. Well, Anthony, thank you so much for taking the time to speak to me today after your long train journey down from Berlin to Munich.
It was a pleasure.
It's been over a year since we've been trying to organize this, so I'm super
Yes.
happy we finally had the chance to sit down and chat like this.
Me too. It was
So
amazing. Thank you so much.
you're welcome,
inviting me.
and good luck for the coming days. And I'm super excited to see how EMPOCA continues to develop now. It's exciting times for you and the team.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode. Please ensure you click the follow or subscribe button in your podcast app so you never miss a new episode. And don't forget, it's completely free. If you're interested in what else we're doing, please follow us on LinkedIn. I'm Dan Trapp, and you've been listening to Sports and Outdoor Mentors.